Section 8 is a specific term. And frankly, I will tell you that I've personally never had a Section 8 tenant because that's a very specific government program. But I've had multiple tenants that use other types of government assistance, whether it's like from a housing authority or some sort of like partial payment voucher. And usually it's pretty good because the state or the city, whoever is offering the assistance is engaged in the approval process. So it's not like any person off the street gets one of these vouchers. They actually have to go through a approval process, from my understanding. And so I've had largely good experiences with people who have been able to get assistance from the government on a sort of solidified basis. The only issue I've had that led to an eviction was somebody who used a temporary support. I think that was like during COVID, they used a temporary state relief fund. And then when the fund ran out, they stopped paying rent. So that's not really typically like your traditional government assisted voucher system. And then another good thing I like about the voucher system is that if they do anything crazy, if they do anything terrible, you can always call the housing authority and let them know like what's happening and get their advice on the situation. Another cool thing that I had specifically with the Vermont Housing Authority, one of my tenants was using that particular program. I was even able to document to them how underpaid they were to me, because a 2-bedroom at that point was now well over the amount they were paying me. And I was able to argue for an increase in my payout. And that again was with a very specific housing authority that I had the ability to do that with. Section 8 is extremely specific, and I personally, again, full disclaimer, have never experienced it. But from my understanding, it follows some of the discussion points that I brought up today, which is that there is some safety in it. But of course, the same risk applies in that you still might have a terrible tenant who just happens to use a voucher system, right? Like tenants could still be mean and rude and cause damage to your home despite them getting a perk from the government. So that you can't guard against. You still have to interview your tenants and make sure you like them or you can assess them. I don't know. It's hard to do that. Of course, if anyone could do that, we'd all be millionaires. Like there's also, you can't discriminate. So there's all sorts of challenge with finding great tenants. But I wouldn't tell people to write off Section 8 or write off vouchers. I personally have had very good experiences with them. But also it depends on what kind of voucher, because like I said before, you're also not immune to eviction should they lose their voucher status.